how the circuit's working. What I'm not going to try to do today is pick a value for the capacitor and pick a value for the resistor. That's not the point of this first 10 minutes. I'm trying to give you a sense of a circuit where a capacitor is an important piece of that circuit. The overall goal for this was to have an alarm system that stayed on a little bit after the laser was no longer blocked. Here's how it works. If the solar cell is blocked, during that instant, this voltage will rush up to 10 volts. When it rushes up to 10 volts, that will make the capacitor voltage 10 volts. An instant later, the solar cell is no longer blocked, and this goes down to 0. However, this voltage will stay at 10 volts because of the diode prevents it from going back, for current going back the other way. That 10 volts will slowly be lowered as charge leaves the capacitor and current flows through that resistor. So it starts off at 10, it goes to 9, to 8, to 7, to 6. What voltage does this get down to before the LED turns off?
2 volts.
2 volts. So this will keep going lower, 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 lower until it gets down to 2 volts. When it gets down to 2 volts, the LED will turn off. Hang on just 1 second, Roger. There's a couple ways I could adjust how much time this alarm will go off for. Can someone think of one way I could adjust how much time this alarm will go off for?
Increase the resistance of the resistor.
Yep, so one way is to adjust that resistor right there. By making it bigger, charge will more slowly dissipate through that resistor, and the alarm will go off for a longer amount of time. What would be a different way to adjust this? Isaac?
Change the 2 volts to like 1 volt.
Yep. So maybe make that 1 volt instead of 2 volts. That will increase the amount of time it will go off for. Was there another thought?
I'm guessing a different capacitor.
Change the size of the capacitor. So I could either make the capacitor a different size, I could make the resistor a different size, I can adjust that voltage right there. I could even adjust that voltage up there. Would also change things. So I have several ways I could affect how much time this alarm would go off for. However, without the capacitor that can store the charge, this circuit would not work. So that this capacitor, in my opinion, is really at the heart of this circuit. It looks a little complicated, but it's tying in a review of several ideas. The diode has not been the star of this course, so that's not the main idea. We've got 2 op amps, though. Those we have covered quite a bit. And now I've got this capacitor-resistor combination, which we're going to study quite a bit. Okay. Roger, you had a question a minute ago.
The second op amp, that's only just to keep the LED bright to a certain point? Like you don't really need it?
Well, if I connected the LED directly to here,
Yeah.
the LED might have a very low resistance compared to that resistor. So really what the capacitor would see is the parallel combination of this plus the LED. If the LED was very small compared to that, this resistor, I would lose control of the circuit. Because this resistor would no longer matter, it would just discharge through the LED. So this op amp kind of isolates the LED from this section of the circuit right here. Fun.
Well, if you just put the LED in series with the resistor,
That's all I was thinking.
Then it would be dim, hopelessly dim.
so that idea is
That's what
different, but yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the LED needs a, well, for practical numbers, which we haven't gotten to yet. So here I haven't given numbers, so you would think, well, maybe that would be of the right size that I could put an LED there. But if you put an LED in series with a 1 mega ohm resistor, it would be hopelessly dim.
Yeah.
I mean, not dim. You would just, even if you did this, you
Well,
wouldn't
then
see
it'd
it.
get even dimmer than that.
It would be, dim is generous. It would be off. Was there another question? Right.
Why do you need a second capacitor for the negative?
This is a battery. But I'm glad Ryan asked. The capacitor has 2 lines the same size. The battery would draw 1 longer line, 1 shorter line. Up on the whiteboard, is it sometimes hard to tell with my handwriting the difference? Yes. So that's a 1 volt